A number of competing forces at play here. What's the more powerful catalyst when it comes to pushing oil prices?
Hi, Paul. Yeah, well, oil's getting a short-term bump from the weaker dollar. Of course, you know, oil's priced in dollars, so you know, that's good for oil. There's also perhaps some speculation. Well, we've seen a lot of speculation recently that the Iranian nuclear talks are stalling, so that may be sort of feeding into a bit of strength for the price. But the macroeconomic backdrop is, you know, is still looking very shaky, with prospects of recessions in major economies, particularly Europe, induced by the energy crisis there, and China, which is still sort of really struggling to throw off the virus shackles around its economy.
Tell us a little bit about the energy crisis in Europe, because, of course, we continue to watch, Andrew, what's happening with potentially curbing power consumption, liquidity to energy markets as well. Have we seen any more details of a potential European intervention in the markets?
Right, well, we saw some European Commission recommendations just come out. Perhaps the most notable one is they're actually proposing mandatory targets to cut power use. This would be, you know, a very effective measure. Whether apparently not all member states are on board at this point, but we'll see what happens there. Other things they're looking at are moves to ease the liquidity crunch. They're putting up proposals around that. Also a levy on excess profits from fossil fuel companies and the like. One thing they have sort of not gone with at this point is a cap on prices of Russian gas imports, and that's been sort of referred for more discussion.
Russian oil exporters' efforts to get around some of these trade sanctions and blockades having some interesting knock-on effects, aren't they? I mean, what's the market for second-hand oil tankers like right now?
Hi, Paul. Yeah, well, we're seeing a surge in demand for these tankers that can travel through icy seas. And that's reflecting the fact that Russian oil is going to have to travel a lot further with the Europeans banning imports. So I guess it's a sign that the market still expects there to be pretty strong demand in Asia, despite the US sort of price cap that it's working on. What might happen is these IC class tankers would take oil from the Baltic, at some point maybe transfer them to another ship, which would then sort of go to destinations in Asia. So yeah, big demand for those ships at the moment, just because there's going to be a need for a lot more of them, just because the crude is going to be travelling a lot further.